Yo, what's going on, dudes? We're going to be taking a little bit of a break from the Let's Play to check out the brand new 40.0 update. So I'm not going to go heavily into detail like I did on my main channel. We're just going to be covering the highlights on the H2K Zeus channel. So the first of the main highlights is, of course, going to be Corvus. So Corvus is going to be a hero that has a lot of moving parts to the actual hero itself, and it also has a bunch of spells to do with the hero as well. And this hero is going to involve a lot of micro, because with this hero you're going to have to sacrifice balloons, or you're going to have to harvest balloons in order to keep the mana for Corvus filled up. Now, as far as these spells are concerned, he does have a variety of spells, for a total of 16 total spells. This top pathway here, when you activate one of the spells in the top pathway, the spell will stay active until you deactivate that spell. Now, the spells for the top pathway are going to include a spear, which is going to give this little ghost spears. The aggression is going to turn your little ghost into a raging machine that's going to increase its size, as well as it's going to make the spear attack faster. Malevolence is going to suck the little ghost dude into Corvus's book, and this is going to do an AoE effect that's kind of similar to the Infernal Ring or the top pathway monkey sub. Storm is basically just going to release kind of a fountain of knives out of this little ghost thing. So it's a little bit of a RNG ability, but it's still pretty strong. Now, starting from the repel spell right here, once you activate this spell, it will stay active for a certain amount of time before it goes on a very long cooldown. So the first spell is going to be Repel, and this is going to kind of give a blowback effect to all of the balloons. So this is actually a pretty solid spell if you want to give a little bit of a stall to your little spirit dude. Next is going to be Echo, and what Echo is going to do is it's going to split your little spirit into two spirits. And with the two spirits, if you activate any of these spells, the spells are going to apply to both spirits. So if you activate the Echo and then you also activate Spear at the same time, both of the spirits are going to have the spears active at the same time. Haste is going to increase the speed of your little ghost dude. A Trample is going to activate an ability similar to Sawdust Sword Charge that is going to go throughout the entire map, but it is much slower than Sawdust Sword Charge, as well as it's going to do a lot more damage. The Ember spell is going to leave wall of fires throughout the track, dealing damage to balloons as the balloons travel over the wall of fires. The Ancestral Might is going to turn this little ghost dude into Corvus's hand, and when you activate this ability, the spirit will disappear into Corvus's hand, and Corvus will actually deal a lot of damage to balloons, but it does attack much slower. Overload basically explodes your little spirit, doing a massive amount of damage. But when you do activate this ability, the spirit will remain in an unstable state to where it's not going to be able to do any damage to balloons for a set amount of time. Nourishment is going to increase the experience of your hero. So if you have full mana, you activate this nourishment skill, it will translate into the hero experience. Soul Barrier, it will give you a kind of similar to a mana shield. For every mana that you have, it will give you a bonus shield, up to a total of 800. So that will give you a bonus of 800 lives up here in the top right or top left while this spell is active. Vision is going to give your spirit the ability to see camo balloons. And then the recovery, when you activate this spell, it's going to put the spirit as well as Corvus into a meditation state, to where it's going to reduce the cooldown of all of your spells. So I know that was a lot of information, but that's basically the gist for all of these spells. Now, moving on, the first ability for Corvus is going to be this Sickle ability. And what this is going to do is this is going to be your soul harvest. So this is how you're going to harvest mana. The second ability is going to be similar to the Dark Champion, where Corvus is going to be able to teleport anywhere on the map. And then the third ability is going to be the Dark Ritual. And this is kind of similar to Gwendolyn's ability, where it's going to shoot out a large burst of flames. But with this ability, you're going to be able to replenish a bunch of your mana. So you have two different abilities that are going to allow you to replenish your mana with this hero. So like I was saying, there are a lot of moving parts with this hero, so it's going to take a while to get used to all of the micro that you have to do with this hero. But once you get used to all of the micro, I played with this hero for quite some time, and this hero is absolutely overpowered. So now that we've gone over Corvus, let's go ahead and go over the new update to the events tab. So Ninja Kiwi went ahead and they cleaned up the events tab, making the events tab look much cleaner. Along with the events tab, they also gave us the ability to challenge every single boss in Bloons on every single map in Bloons. And what I mean by that is, yes, you can choose from each balloon. On top of that, you can also choose on whether you want to challenge it on normal, or if you guys want to challenge it on elite. And yes, that also means that you guys will also be able to challenge the boss balloons on the shortest map balloon. Next, we also have a brand new map called Glacial Trail. So Glacial Trail is a relatively unique map where there's a really unique mechanic on this map that's kind of difficult to deal with if you aren't prepared for the mechanic. And that is once you place down a tower, in 10 rounds from the moment that you place down that tower, the tower is going to become frozen for 2 rounds. So what that means is that you're not only going to have to pay attention to like the placement of your towers, but you're also going to have to pay attention to when you're placed down your towers as well. Because if you place down your towers at the wrong time, like say for instance, you're using the Prince of Darkness. If you place down your Wizard Monkey on round 5, that means the Prince of Darkness is going to be frozen from round 95 until round 97. And it's going to be unfrozen from round 98 until round 100. So that's something to keep in mind while you guys are playing on the new extra map. That way you guys don't end up being confused if your tower ends up being frozen on round 10. And of course, there was a bunch of new props added to the BT6 Map Editor. So of course, we have a couple of new backgrounds. We have a couple of new trails as well. Now, I'm not going to go all over all of the new props, but in total, we have a grand total of 80 new props that Ninja Kiwi added in this new update, as well as they added a new mechanic to this update as well, to where you can actually raise and lower props. So this is going to this is going to increase the amount of customization that you can actually do in the BT6 map creation. Additionally, with this update, we also have the map editor holiday props. Now this does cost 2,500 monkey money, so it is a tad bit expensive. So if you want access to all these props, you will have to invest 2,500 monkey money. And of course, in my opinion, it's definitely worth it to have a few more props to work with. And there are just so many new props that Ninja Kiwi added to this new update that is going to allow us to create more and more complex creations. And especially since we now have the ability to like raise and lower props. And if you guys are a little bit confused what I mean by raise and lower props, we can go ahead, like if we have like these 2 stones, we place these 2 stones right next to each other, we can actually raise the prop and actually make the prop lower as well. And because we can raise our props, we can actually make it so the pathways go underneath these props. So now it'll be a lot easier to like create tunnels or create caves or create cave systems, because this is going to add so much detail. So we no longer have to worry about like balloons clipping through our props. So I thought this was a really big quality of life change that Ninja Kiwi added to the BT6 map editor. On top of that, a couple of the stamps that are going to add a lot more detail to our creations. They added these 3 stamp icons that are 3 different colors. So you're going to be able to add a little bit more color to your map. So like I was saying, there's just like so much with this brand new update. It's hard to cover in one video. And then as far as like balance changes and stuff like that are concerned, there's not really too many notable changes with like nerfs and buffs for this update. There is one really big announcement that I'm going to show you guys right now. Well, actually, there's 2 really big announcements. The first is player content creators. So this is going to add a monetization aspect to Bloons, where if you create challenges, if you create Odyssey events, if you create maps with the BT6 Map Editor, you're actually going to be able to make money with those things in Bloons TD6. Because they're going to be adding a tipping feature as well as a IAPS. I'm not exactly sure what IAPS is, but we'll be able to figure that out more as time progresses. So this is going to make a way for people who create like really in-depth maps and like really cool maps in Bloons TD6 to make a little bit of extra money from the community and stuff. On top of that, this option, or this statement right here, what this means, or what this statement basically says summed up is that they're going to not be producing a Bloons TD7, at least in the near future. They're going to be investing all of their resources into making BTD6 a bigger and better game by implementing a modding function. So you'll be able to make mods for Bloons TD6, and you'll be able to like play mods on different platforms. And I think this is something really, really cool I think this is a really cool statement, and it's a confirmation that Ninja Kiwi wants to make Bloons TD6 even bigger than it already is. But anyways, dudes, that's a basic summary for the 40.0 update. If you guys enjoyed, make sure you guys hit that like button. Also, if you guys are new around here, don't forget to subscribe as well, because I do upload a daily BT6 content. But anyways, guys, again, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you dudes in the next one.